All right, this is once again a battle of hoes. I just realized that. It's Hoejja versus Backho. That's right, the losers match. Damn, I just realized that. That's so awesome, the hoes match. And we're going to see which hoe is going to win here. Backho, who is horrible against Zerg, or Hoejja, who's horrible against everyone. All three races equally. So Backho and Hoejja have about the same 2-to-1 loss to win ratio, I guess 1-to-2 win to loss ratio, about 30-something% against their respective races. Backho, known for his cross-dressing and for his nudity in many pictures, and Hoejja, known for a highly intense Christopher Walken-like stare that is actually getting him put in some movies. There on the left, by the way, is Hoejja. You know, he's got that kind of intense look. I like that about Hoejja. Unfortunately, he's not very good at StarCraft. He's not on the left, of course, in the map. On the pictures, he is. But he is the right side, the Zerg player on the right side of the map. Backho is here, the Protoss in the left side. Once again, this is Heartbreak Ridge. We're going to see what happens. Hoejja, you know, he didn't play poorly in the first game. I think really he didn't show anything because, you know, he got rushed. So not his fault, really. I don't think pretty much anyone except for Quan Ro could have faced that off. And I say Quan Ro because just look up Art of Defense from a long time ago on my account. He manages to fight off an 8 racks with a 12 hatch. With just drones, basically. He kills all the Marines as they approach, and then he kills the Terran in like a minute later. That's how much his drones own those Marines. He like killed like 4 or 5 Marines with just drones, and only lost like maybe 4 or 5 drones. It was just crazy. I've never seen anything like it, and I probably won't see anything like it because that's just, you know, it shouldn't happen. But of course, Hoejja did not do quite as well, and we're gonna see. There's Backho. He's gonna go for a Forge Fast Expand, and Hoejja has meanwhile gone for a Overpool. So, about the same kind of builds as was in the second game between Hoejja and Backho. We're going to see how that treats both players. Hoejja, I just don't remember too much about him. In fact, oh, I'm so sorry, actually, Hoejja. You're actually not that bad against Protoss. He's only 8-10, or 9-10, actually, against Protoss, so nearing 50%. Hoejja, not horrible against everyone. Newsflash, everybody. He's actually 40% overall lifetime stats. I thought he was in the mid-30s, but slightly better. Not horrible against all 3 races. So Backho is actually, at least by stats, not a favorite, although he's doing fine here with this nice probe harassment of the drone. That's what he needs to do. Oh, no, not Bisu timing, though. Bisu would have just got there at that last second and continued to stop Backho from, I'm sorry, Hoejja from being able to pick up that expansion. But Backho has done a little bit of something with that probe, and meanwhile he's gone for Forge Nexus cannons as expected. There's the links from Hoejja, and we're going to see whether the Hoejja can get close to the Backho. There's Hoejja once again. Not really looking like Christopher Walken, kind of an Asian Christopher Walken perhaps. And there's the probe about to build a gateway. A bunch of lings approaching. I think they're not going to get anywhere, but who knows? Maybe Backho will decide to cancel both just to be funny. You'd be like, oh, I'm funny, I'm Backho. Look at me, I lost. So, no, it looks like he's not going to choose that option. By the way, Backho is like the second best player, I think, right now on the Hoejja team. I'm just going to let that sink in for you guys a little bit. Hoejja is the second best player on the team. Anyway, sorry. I mean, either that or Lomo. I mean, I just don't know what else to say about these guys. Just, Obviously, it's Jaedong carrying all of the team on the weight of his ridiculously strong shoulders. Second only to Reach in strength of shoulders, basically. He's not strong elsewhere, just his shoulders. Like, basically, elephants stand on him, but he can't pick up, like, more than 30 pounds probably at a time. But anyway, so right now we got the Lings getting into... well, I'm sorry. No, the probe getting into... the Lings getting into their own base. Probe getting into Hoejja's base. And he's going to see Hoejja has chosen to go for Lair after a double expand. Pretty much the same thing as what every Zerg is now doing. It's interesting that they're choosing not to go for a 12 hatch into a 3 base. Instead they're doing Overpool into 3 base. And of course this is 3 hatch 3 base, not like when they're playing against Terran. Hardly ever do they go for 3 bases off the bat against a Terran player. In any case, looks like the Lings have managed to kill off the probe finally, but I think the scouting information was there for Backho. Let's see if he can make any good use of it. The first game, his Zealot attack, I mean, it wasn't terrible. In fact, it almost worked. But I feel like the main problem wasn't so much the build or the timing. It was just his micro. He had very bad micro in that early attack. Just chose to send his units directly into a funnel of death, into a back alley basically of Hyuk's base. I mean, Hyuk just had Sunkens on. He had just basically enough room for like 1 or 2 zealots to walk abreast, and Sunkens all around, Hydras all around. I don't understand why he didn't just go for the top base, the second expansion in that game, but let's not split hairs about that game anymore. Let's see what happens here. Looks like Backho does not have a spinning forge, so he's going to go for a more standard opening, not going to go for Zealot speed Zealot rush. And he's getting a Citadel fairly early, but it's going to come with Stargates. Yeah, there's a Stargate, an extra gateway. So I presume this is not for a Speedlot rush, more for just a Templar build, which is completely expected from a player in this map, I think. Not sure if Corsair Reaver works on this map very well, so I do think that the standard kind of Corsair, 1 or 2 Corsairs into Templar and Zealots and Observers is the way to go here. And just because it's standard does not mean it's bad, by the way. Just because something is creative does not mean it's good. There's been some creative failures that we've all seen, including from some great players. Like you guys remember back when Jaedong experimented with Guardians against Protoss a couple of times. It's like experimenting with meth or something. It's like you won't learn anything good from there. You'll learn just not to do it anymore. Or you'll get addicted to something stupid and then you'll just die. I mean, so Jaedong anyway was experimenting with Guardians, and he pretty much lost several games that he was supposed to win because of Guardians against Protoss, which evidently don't work for tons of reasons. Anyway, it looks like Stargate is going to produce the first Corsair. Cannons forming. Corsair's already out. It's going to get a scout in. And we're going to see how good Backho is if he's anywhere near the good Protosses, who would somehow manage to jig this Corsair into life. Into living. Hoejja is going to go for the Scourge Sandwich, though. Boom! Yum. Corsair in the middle. So Hoejja doing well there. But, whoa! Where those Zealots come from? 3 Zealots down at the top and a Goon. That's not going to do anything. Sun Colony already up. I think Hoejja is going to be fine here, and I think Backho's just kind of throwing away units, but that's alright. He's going to make a weird little wall there, too. He's gone DTs, but I just don't know if that's going to work without any air support and without any specific idea that Backho wouldn't be prepared. I mean, that Hoejja wouldn't be prepared.